The 1987 Buick Grand National stands as one of the most iconic and unexpected muscle cars of the 1980s. In a decade where American performance cars were often a shadow of their former selves due to rising fuel economy concerns and stricter emissions regulations, the Grand National emerged as a dark horse both literally and figuratively. It was a car that defied expectations, coming from a brand known more for comfort and luxury than raw speed. Buick, typically associated with smooth rides and refined styling, shocked the automotive world with a blacked-out coupe that could outrun Corvettes and Mustangs straight off the showroom floor. What made the 1987 Grand National so special was its engine. Under the hood was a 3.8-liter turbocharged V6, which in its final iteration produced 245 horsepower and 355 lb-ft of torque. These numbers might not seem earth-shattering today, but in the mid-80s, they were sensational, especially coming from a V6 in an era still recovering from the muscle car drought of the 1970s. More importantly, it wasn't just about raw figures. The Grand National's turbo engine delivered power in a sudden, almost explosive rush once the boost built up. This gave it a menacing feel, a punch of performance that felt raw and exciting. It was the kind of car that made drivers grin as the turbo spooled and the rear tires struggled for traction. The 1987 model year was the final year of the Grand National, and it went out with a bang. It was also the most refined version. Buick had spent the early 80s developing and tweaking the turbo V6, and by 1987, the engineers had perfected the balance between power and drivability. The car featured sequential fuel injection and an intercooler, both relatively advanced technologies for the time, which helped it achieve remarkable acceleration. In fact, it could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 5 seconds in the hands of a skilled driver, making it faster than many V8-powered competitors and earning it a spot in the pantheon of great American performance cars. Visually, the Grand National was just as aggressive as its performance. The all-black exterior, devoid of chrome or bright trim, gave it an ominous, stealthy presence. With its squared-off lines, bulging hood, and blacked-out grille and wheels, it looked like a street fighter ready for battle. There was something almost sinister about its appearance, as if it was designed to look as intimidating as it felt to drive. The only splashes of color were the red and silver Grand National badges and the subtle Buick emblem. This monochrome appearance earned it the nickname Darth Vader's car, a reference to its evil-looking design and performance that matched the dark persona. Inside, the Grand National wasn't overly luxurious, but it had its charm. The interior was fitted with gray cloth seats, a leather-wrapped sport steering wheel, and analog gauges that included a turbo boost indicator, a nod to its performance credentials. It had the standard 1980s GM dashboard layout, but what it lacked in high-end materials, it made up for in personality. The cabin gave drivers the feeling that they were piloting something truly special, a car with both attitude and capability. The Grand National was also a symbol of something more significant in the automotive world. It marked the rebirth of performance for American automakers. At a time when the industry was shifting toward front-wheel drive and smaller engines, Buick proved that performance could be achieved with innovation rather than brute force. The use of a turbocharged V6 in place of a traditional V8 was a sign of things to come, and it helped pave the way for the resurgence of high-performance cars in the decades to follow. The Grand National showed that smart engineering could create a car that was both quick and relatively efficient, without sacrificing the thrill of driving. Perhaps even more revered than the standard Grand National was the ultra-limited GNX Grand National Experimental, a special edition built in collaboration with ASC McLaren. Only 547 of these were produced, and they featured even more aggressive performance tuning, putting out a conservatively rated 276 horsepower and 360 lb-ft of torque. The GNX was a true monster, capable of outperforming just about anything else on American roads at the time. It had upgraded suspension, a unique rear axle, and functional fender vents to help with cooling. It remains one of the most collectible American cars of the 1980s, often commanding six-figure prices at auctions today. The 1987 Buick Grand National's legacy continues to endure. It is a cult classic, beloved by enthusiasts and respected even by those who typically favor other marques. It represented the last hurrah of Buick's rear-wheel drive performance coupes before the brand shifted away from muscle and toward more conventional sedans and luxury vehicles. Its popularity has only grown over the years, with clean, low-mileage examples becoming increasingly difficult to find and highly sought after by collectors. What makes the Grand National so memorable isn't just its speed or looks. It's the story it tells of a brand breaking free from its image, of engineers pushing the limits of what a V6 could do, and of a car that stood out in an era when performance was hard to come by. It was a machine that carried a sense of rebellion, a car that didn't just fit into the mold but shattered it. Whether you're an automotive historian or just someone who loves fast cars, the 1987 Buick Grand National deserves recognition as one of the great American performance icons, a car that proved black is not only beautiful but blistering.